I think Daniel Andrews' decision to sign up to the Belt and Road Initiative, particularly without publicly releasing the Memorandum of Understanding, is an absolute disgrace. I think it's worth unpacking the fact that the Belt and Road Initiative is not simply economic infrastructure and about trade. It is ultimately about expanding China's geostrategic influence. And there have been a number of cases of what's called debt trapping, where China has provided funding for projects that weren't viable, like a Sri Lankan port that's now been leased back to a Chinese company. You've got 3 projects that have now been cancelled from the Belt and Road Initiative in Malaysia, and the Malaysian Prime Minister describing it as a new form of colonialism. I think the Victorian Labor government has really undermined Australian foreign policy and geostrategic national interest goals by signing up to this.
But given that, how effective then do you think the federal government's commitment of some $2 billion in setting up an infrastructure bank for the Pacific, and of course also increasing military and cooperation between Australia and Pacific nations, how likely or how effective is that likely to be, do you think?
Well, I think there's clearly a bit of a geostrategic competition going on between the Western Alliance and China when it comes to influence in the Pacific. The Pacific is Australia's backyard. I think we actually can have a lot of influence, and the Pacific Islands do look to Australia as the effective one of the main powers in the region. So I think it's actually quite important that we engage extremely close with the Pacific Islands. And I think that there is a capacity to counterbalance China and Chinese influence in that region, at the same time as maintaining friendly relations with China and trading and cooperatively. I'm broadly a great believer in the capacity of trade to pacify, but we still have to make sure that strategically we're making careful decisions.